Slope-intercept, part 2. Nothing is ever good as the first one, right? The sequels are never as good, so this is not nearly as exciting. But, depending on how you look at it, you can decide yourself. There's no graphing in this part today. No new graphing. However, we are going to be substituting. So there's more algebra involved. So let's remember from yesterday, slope, intercept, form. The formula we need to commit to memory. It is our new best friend. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Where, again, mathematicians are not the most creative people in the world. M is your slope. And the plus b is your y-intercept. So because math is always never as easy as the examples are, they may ask you to write in slope-intercept form and then graph. So they may give you a problem like 6x plus 2y equals 10. And they may say to you, graph that. Well, in order to graph, y has to be alone. So it's a good thing we've been practicing algebra, because do you have the skills to get y alone? Have we done problems like this before? Yeah, we've done a bunch of them. If I draw a line down the equal sign and I want y alone, right? Our brain automatically starts thinking, what's being done to the y? So here's my y. What are my operations that are being done to the y? Sam, what's happening? It's being multiplied by 2. And what else is happening to this y? What else is going on the same side, Greta? Yeah, there's a positive 6x with it, right? On the same side. So, we move up the line. Let's get rid of this positive 6x first. How do you get rid of a positive 6x? You subtract 6x. So on the right side, what happens? These are inverses, so they disappear. So what's left over? 2y equals, can you do 10 minus 6x? No. Which order do I write it in? Negative 6x plus 10. Always put your variable first. Okay, is y alone? No. Can we get it? Yes. What's the opposite of dividing by 2? Oops. What's the opposite of multiplying by 2? So y equals, and let's separate it out. This is that part that we really needed to work on. What's negative 6 divided by 2? Negative 3x. And what's positive 10 divided by 2? 5, so it's positive, right? Plus 5. You're going to be asked to get y alone, to isolate y tonight on your homework, which isn't really a new concept. Inverse operations, move them away. This part is the part that we kind of struggled on when we first did this year. You have to separate it. Maybe this stays a fraction, and that's okay, because slope can be a fraction. I know I said you aren't going to have to graph on your homework, but let's take this one step further and get a little bit of graphing in on our notes. If you were going to graph this, let's just draw a quick and dirty graph. It doesn't have to be pretty. Go to 5. Where does this graph start at? Corbin, where does it start?
On positive 5 on the y-axis.
Positive 5. So I go to the y-axis and I go to positive 5. What's my slope for this graph? Samantha? Negative 3 over 1, right? Because it has to be a fraction. So what does that mean? What directions am I going to go for negative 3 over 1? Top is rise, so how do you rise negative 3? Go down 3, and then positive 1. Which way is positive 1? To the right. Because we are algebra students, we cannot be slackers. This is not good enough. We need to put as many dots as fit on our graph. 1, 2, 3 over 1. 1, 2, 3 over 1. Let's do another practice. Let's do 3x minus 2y equals 8. We won't graph it, we'll just solve for y. So some of you can move ahead and do this without me. So if you feel confident, you can go ahead. Others, I'm going to walk us through. I draw that line down the equal sign, and I make a list of what is happening to the y. If I look, what's happening to the y? It's being multiplied by negative 2. The other thing that's happening on this y side is there's a 3x, a positive 3x. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to start doing inverses, and I work my way up the line. The opposite of negative 3x, or positive 3x, is negative 3x. I'm just giving away the answers today. Because the inverse of positive is negative. Remember, that minus belongs to the 2. That minus has nothing to do with the 3x. Those are inverses. They cancel out, and I'm left with negative 2y equals negative 3x and positive 8. Because those are not like terms, I cannot combine them. My last step is this is a multiplication, so to get this away, negative 2, to move it, I have to divide by negative 2. Now y is finally alone, and I'm going to separate it out. -3 divided by -2. Do you know what it is? Okay, and can you have a decimal as your slope? Slope is always a fraction, so what should I write? Should I leave it that way? I need to leave it 3/2. Why did it become positive? 2 negatives make a positive, right? Remember yesterday we remembered, slope is always a fraction. Sometimes it's improper, but it's never a mixed number or a decimal. So this works. It's got an x with it. And then what's 8, positive 8, divided by -2? -4. This is half your homework. A little more than half your homework is just solving for y. The last type of homework is going to be a substitution. It's going to look like this. It's going to say the slope is 4 and on the point 25, write the slope intercept form. The slope is 4 and it's on the point 2, 5. Write the slope intercept form. So slope intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Using this information, I have 3 numbers. Where should I put those 3 numbers? I mean, first off, I know the slope is 4. So where should 4 go? Where do I put the 4? What variable means slope? Lillian? M. All right, I used the number 4. I wonder what I should do with that ordered pair. I'm looking up there, and there's 4 variables. Y equals mx plus b. And I already took out m. I wonder where I could put this in this formula. This ordered pair, if I was going to graph it, I'd go 2, 5 on the graph, which is made up of the x and y axis. I wonder where I could put 2 and 5. Sam, where can I put 2? Well, I'm not going to make a fraction out of it. It's an ordered pair. Samantha, what am I going to do? An ordered pair is written in XY form. So instead of the variable x, what number should I put? 2, because that's my x value. And instead of the variable y, what value should I put? 5, because that's my y value. So 5 equals, because that's my y value, 4, because that's my slope, m, times 2, because that's my x value. And do I know my b? No. All right, let's do some math. 5 equals 8 plus b. Minus 8. Negative 3 equals b. Now, can you write the slope intercept form? Do you know the slope? What's the slope? 4. Do you know the intercept? Yes, what's the intercept? Negative 3, let's write it. Y equals mx plus b. Y equals what? 4x minus 3. If they give you the slope and a point, step 1 is to substitute. Substitute the slope in the ordered pair. Step 2 is to solve for b, and step 3 is to rewrite the equation using slope and y-intercept. The first 8 problems on your homework are solving for y. Get y alone and that's it. The last 4 are what we just did.